We begin with developing news in Seattle, an international story playing out right here in our backyard. Federal employees are searching the former home of the Russian consulate, just hours after Russian diplomats were forced out. President Trump ordered the Russian consulate in Seattle closed late last month. They had until midnight last night to get out. This morning, federal officials forced their way into the Russian consulate residence, which is in Seattle's Madison Park neighborhood. KOMO's Steve McCarran has been outside that home all afternoon and joins us live now with a look at what's happening right now there. Steve?
Molly, it appears as if all of the guards and most of the federal employees that were here for most of the day have left. We did notice one small change here just within the last couple of minutes. It appears this lock on the front gate was changed. The old one had a drill hole on the top there. Throughout the day today, we've seen those federal employees walk around these grounds. They examined the water meter at one point, but it does not appear as if they left with anything when they took off. Cell phone video we obtained shows the moment federal officials made their way into this home in Seattle's Madison Park. Several witnesses say those officials broke the locks on the front gate behind a blue tarp, then went into the mansion nearby. Representatives of the Russian embassy looked on in disbelief.
You can see the Russian flag. So that's the property of the Russian Federation.
The U.S. State Department says federal employees were doing a walkthrough under the rules of the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations to make sure the Russians complied with a midnight deadline to leave the home. They were originally ordered out by April 1st in response to Russia's alleged role in a nerve agent attack in Britain. But the deadline was extended to late last night. Russian officials say the U.S. is overstepping its bounds.
That's a very sad day for the Russian-American relations. Because, well, that's a new blow, and this consul general served both American and Russian people living on the western coast, and now these people are left without consular assistance. That's a very sad day.
Neighbors say they've seen large moving trucks in this alley several times over the past few weeks since the announcement was originally made. Today, all that's left are piles of garbage right outside the gates, including a bag of shredded documents.
I think a lot of people are surprised. There are a lot of people in the neighborhood who never even knew they were here.
It's really surreal for us because we never saw anybody. It was like, is anybody in there? But there had to be.
And within the next few minutes here, we're expecting to talk with a representative of the U.S. State Department. You will hear from them new tonight on KOMO News at 6 o'clock. Live in Madison Park, Steve McCarran, KOMO News.
We'll check in with you then, Steve. Thank you.
Response to the poisoning of a former Russian spy in Britain, the Trump administration forced the closure of the Russian consulate in downtown Seattle by April 1st. Russians at the consul general's residence were given more time until 11:59 last night.
We are assuming custody and protecting and preserving it.
This neighbor told us she saw activity here weeks ago.
And they were rolling stuff out of the main front entrance.
They were moving out.
Oh, yeah, they were definitely moving out.
After the State Department sweep through today, we spotted bags of trash and shredded documents in the alley.
One wonders what's in all that garbage.
Did you find anything? Just what you would normally find in a house, furniture. That's what it was, a residence.
The State Department says all consular immunity ended at this property at midnight.
The Russian flag is still flying. Still there?
What's the plan there?
It's still there.
Are you going to take it down?
Not today.
Today, CNN reports that suspected spies were among the Russian diplomats expelled last month. CNN says they were believed to be tracking Russian defectors and their families who had moved to the U.S. I asked that State Department official how much spying had been done out of Seattle. He said that was not his role. He was just in charge of diplomatic properties. Live in Madison Park, Graham Johnson, KIRO 7 News.
New at 5.